a varied and healthy diet is extremely important for a growing athlete. Naturopathic Dr. Joyce Johnson, a mother of 3 young athletes, joins us here today. And you're going to share how to fuel your young athletes. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
So let's talk first about macronutrients. First of all, what is that and how can you fuel your body in that way?
Okay, so macros are, really popular. Everyone talks about doing their macros right now, and they're your carbohydrates, your fats, and your proteins.
Right.
So it's important that we're making sure we're making the right choices for the kids. So carbohydrates, for example, don't just have to be pasta, bread, rice, that type of thing. You can do pasta. I try to get like a whole grain.
Right.
Same thing with rice, brown rice, but carbohydrates also include fruits and vegetables. So carbohydrates are what give your body that energy to go. So that's important fuel for them. So think about carbohydrates 2 to 3 hours before an activity. The next is good quality protein. So I have some fish here, some eggs. Think about like lean poultry. That's really good sources of protein because as your muscles are exercising and working, they're breaking down. So you want to make sure the protein is there to repair them. And the last is good healthy fats. So I have olive oil, nuts are a great snack, avocados, these are really good. Fats are really important also for just keeping everything balanced and for things like, brain health as well.
Right, and if you do have an athlete at home, how far in advance should they be having this meal before they play their big game?
Well, like I was saying, when it comes to carbohydrates, 2 to 3 hours before, and anything like right before, you want to have something that's going to be easy to digest and something really light, especially say they're doing a soccer game and they're playing for 90 minutes. You don't want anything too heavy that's going to be sitting in their stomach during that whole game.
Now, there's micronutrients as well.
Yes.
What are those?
Okay, so micronutrients are vitamins and minerals.
Okay.
So we think about the minerals. Calcium is really important for those strong growing bones. We want to make sure that they're getting calcium in their diet, be it coming from milk, from things like broccoli even. You can get calcium from yogurt, from cheese. You can also get it from spinach. And then the other micronutrient that's important is vitamin D.
Right.
So vitamin D is important to help build strong bones. And also, we're getting into cold, should I say cold and flu season?
Don't say it.
But vitamin D is also going to be really important to make sure that you're keeping them, sort of well fueled in that area to help prevent colds and flus. But you can get, these are just some food sources of vitamin D and calcium.
So I noticed that you have these vitamins here, the chewable vitamins. Is this especially good for those picky eaters who may not like broccoli or yogurt or cheese?
Yes, absolutely. And often you're not getting as much that you would possibly need from your food alone. We know that in Canada. So that's where you can get like a nice sort of delicious gummy vitamin for them.
Absolutely. Okay, lastly, we want to talk about hydration. That's obviously super important when you're an athlete running around and being active. So how can you get hydrated or keep your kids hydrated?
Okay, so the most important thing is that you are drinking water, like, making sure you're hydrated the day before a big game, the day, like the morning of, before your game. You want to be drinking water every 20 minutes roughly during your activity, and you want to sort of not focus heavily on sports drinks. People ask me that all of the time, and you can ask any of my kids how often I buy them and they will all say never. But there usually is a lot of sugar in there. So if you want something that has a little bit of flavor, watermelon, oranges, like think about cut up oranges in between periods or at halftime. That's a really great way to get water in, but also some sugar, some natural sugars, and a little bit of flavor.
Awesome, and that's more exciting than drinking a bottle of water, I'm guessing.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, and when I was growing up, people used to fuel with chocolate milk after a big game. Is that a good thing, or?
Well, the idea that they're having chocolate milk after, I think sort of revolves around there's protein in milk and the calcium, right? So after exercise, if your kids are into maybe having like a protein shake or something like that, that's the right time to have that, is immediately following exercise, because that protein is going to repair the muscles that have been sort of damaged. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, Joyce Johnson, thank you so much for joining us and being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
No problem.